Hey, welcome on in, guys. How are you? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Much appreciated. If you guys could subscribe here, that'd be cool. If not, thanks for stopping by. Miami Heat, they lose to the Chicago Bulls tonight and drop their record to 14-11. Final score tonight from the Kaseya Center was 124 to 116. A very high-scoring affair today. Pretty much a game that could be wrapped up in the first few minutes of this game, as Miami got down in this game very, very early and very poorly. Got down in this game by a score of 33-8. Erik Spoelstra called timeout twice. Giving up three ball after three ball. I think they started 7-9 from downtown. And it was a brutal watch. It was a brutal watch early on. Mind you, the Miami Heat were on the second night of a back-to-back. They are very banged up. No J. Rich. He remains out with back spasms. Haywood Highsmith, of course, is the tailbone injury. Bam Adebayo remains out with the hip. Tyler Hero, who did tell reporters today that he's targeting either Monday or Wednesday next week, he remains out with the ankle. So 4 rotational guys are out. And a lot of, you're talking about 3 of probably your best wing defenders are out there. And what did you get carved up today? I mean, nobody could contain anybody at the point of attack, and there was really no paint presence in the interior, and it showed. And Miami really just couldn't cover all their bases. Like, whenever they tried to seal off stuff inside, it was bombs away. And whenever they tried to attack the three-point line, it was willy-nilly down the paint. They just never seemed to have that counter to the Bulls. Bulls with a lot of firepower right now. Kobe White's playing out of his mind. He absolutely lit things up today. It was, it was a great performance from him. Really, you had 4 guys who just completely killed Miami. But Kobe White, I would say, it was the A1 suspect from getting that done. And then an OG Heat killer, Nick Vucevic. I mean, look, if you're a Heat fan and you've been around since Vucevic's career, you know this guy's been one of the perennial Heat killers his entire time. With the Orlando Magic, he was a Heat killer. Not as much with Chicago, but this was a turn back the clock night for Vucevic, and he really put a hurting on Orlando Robinson tonight. I mean, he was just, bringing all the bag of tricks. He's a very, very polished offensive big man, and he just had it all tonight. He really did. He was it was a tough presence for Miami to deal with. DeMar DeRozan, of course, is always going to be their closer. I'm sure that he was doing a little Pat Riley flirting today, trying to bat his eyes so Pat can go make a move. I'm not into going and getting any of the Chicago Bulls. Caruso got hurt early in this one, and they had Ayo Dosunmu. This dude could not miss. Ayo was like, whew. He was on fire, scorching in this game. Brutal. This was his line he finished tonight. 10 of 12. 3 of 4 from downtown. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Just a monster game from this dude. And I don't know if the Heat didn't have him on the scouting report or what, but he basically stepped in. He's, with Caruso going down, he goes, no bigs, I got this. And just brought complete firepower to this game. And I'm here looking at his last 5 games to where his point totals have been 8, 4, 0, 9. And then, of course, tonight, 24 points. So, congratulations to him on his season high tonight. That was tremendous for him to see. So from Miami's standpoint, they get down 33-8. The interesting thing that Spo tried was he flipped out all the old dudes, and he brought in R.J. Hampton, Jamal Cain with Triple J, and Thomas Bryant along with Jimmy. And I would say the moment of the game came right after this, where Jamal Cain rose up and had this. I watched it right before my eyes, And I was like, did he get posterized or did he block that? And I'm like, I think he mother bleeping blocked. It happened so fast in the moment. Dude, like, stops it because, like, the Heat are running and they're passing the ball to Jaime Jaquez and he just hit a three. I don't think they just took the ball out of the basket and made that happen. It was marvelous. I had to watch the replay of that probably 100 times today. I friggin' love Jamal Cain, dude. This guy is so impressive all the time. He just seems to make an impact. He plays just bigger than his frame. We'll go up there against the trees. We'll do the big man things, but obviously has a very confident offensive game. I just really love the guy as a player. I really, really do. I know this is a tough rotation for him to crack, especially when everybody's healthy, but I love the fact that he's getting his opportunity. You know, like it sucks that, like, you know, Jovic isn't getting that and he's in Sioux Falls and they're trying to polish off and get him into the system. But I'm happy that Jamal Cain, if anybody else was going to get opportunity out of these injuries, I'm happy it's Jamal Cain because I really like that guy as a player. The other thing we got to see was RJ Hampton. RJ Hampton hit a 3-ball today, so he made his Heat debut. You know, he was excited. He was talking today in the locker room afterwards about just the idea that he hadn't played basketball in a while, that he had this is the longest that he had gone without playing basketball. So that was really, really cool to see. And then Jaime Jaquez, he had the sick bucket just going right into the chest and the teeth of the Bulls defense. Jaime he just remains impressive, you know. He just remains impressive. Tonight, you know, he goes out there and he plays 34 minutes and was the leading scorer for your Miami Heat tonight. And just always seems like he's just got some new move or something up his sleeve to really dazzle the crowd. It's a cool thing to see, man. It's cool to see him get the rub here. I think out of all the stuff with this injury plague that the Heat have been going through, it's been nice seeing Jaime get a little bit more shine, and those opportunities are there. I know there's been a lot of talk about Jimmy Butler, who, you know, was offensively okay today. Not great. The jump shot just wasn't there for him. Finished with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. So, like, you know, the counting stats are not bad. You know, guys, people are talking about, oh, is Jimmy declining? Does Jimmy have to do more? Does Jimmy have to force the issue? I don't really know what you guys want him to do. I mean, like, first of all, these teams are going into these games with Jimmy Butler, and they're like, anybody else can beat us, not him. And he doesn't really have a Robin right now. He doesn't. You know, and if you're asking that to be Jaime, I think that's a little bit of a big ask. It's a rookie, and they play similar, and they have done a good job connecting with each other. But, you know, Kyle, Kevin, they're going to have their nights. They're going to have their puncher's moments. You know, honestly, his other guy who has been there has been Duncan Robinson. That was kind of my one quibble with Spo today. Late in this game, he took Duncan out, I want to say with like 6 minutes left. He goes with Love and Caleb Martin. Heat were down 9, and he said this after the game. I was just searching for stuff, and he thought the best way for it was in transition. You know, I just think that Duncan's been playing so good. I can't believe you're taking him off the floor in crunch time, but I get it. I know Spo basically admitted, he's like, listen, I don't think it worked out. I was searching, and that's what it is. You got to live with that as a coach. But getting back to Jimmy, you know, dude, the throw in, this is not stuff that he can't figure out, but it's hard to get over these coverages where you're throwing 2-3 guys at Jimmy Butler. You're throwing big men at Jimmy Butler. And you're just trying to make that dude's life a living hell. And then on top of it, he doesn't really have, you know, anybody that's going to relieve that pressure from a coverage standpoint. What Jimmy's counter that has been is he's racking up a boatload of assists. I think, you know, he had 7 tonight. He's had at least 7 in the last 4. I mean, he's going to make the right basketball play. He's trusting his teammates because he thinks he's a very efficient basketball player, and he's not going to take inefficient shots. And I'd say even for Jimmy Butler, he's probably been forcing the issue more than he typically has because He doesn't have Bam Adebayo. Mind you, this is the first time since 2 seasons ago that he's got an extended period without Bam Adebayo. I feel like even in that time when Bam had the thumb surgery, I think Jimmy was even missing games in that, because there would be times where like Kyle was basically running the show with PJ Tucker and Yurt. So, this is a new thing. And this is, kind of the wrap up on the game is because the game pretty much stayed its course. The Heat made it close at one point in the first half. They got it to 3. In the second half, they got it to like 4. There was a really good time in the third quarter. Kevin Love had a really impressive run where he was like, getting the rebound, doing the outlet pass thing. Caleb to Jimmy for a dunk. Then Caleb rebounded Jimmy. Goes to Caleb Martin for a layup. Then you got back-to-back Kevin Love threes from from Jaime Jaquez. That brought it to within a close proximity of getting the lead. But, they just never could get on that run to put it over the hump. They just couldn't get the stops defensively. There's just no resistance there. And I actually think that today was kind of a healthy post-game, because it's okay to say the truth sometimes. And Erik Spoelstra didn't flat out admit that they miss Bam Adebayo, but comes as close as Erik Spoelstra is going to come to saying, we miss Bam Adebayo.
It was a game in the second half, and they definitely made more plays down the stretch. We had some defensive breakdowns that led to some open shots, and you have to do different things when you have somebody like DeRozan, and you don't have a switchable guy like Bam, and they took advantage of that and got some open shots from there. But there were also some breakdowns that led to some fouls and opportunities for them to get to the free throw line that also proved to be costly.
Well, I mean, Bam's a guy that we can do a lot of switching, and it kind of stops that drive and penetration on the defensive end. But, we have enough different type of coverages where we can be there earlier. They were moving the ball really well tonight. They really attacked us. They really got downhill. I think Kobe White in the second or third, fourth quarter, he had like 5-6 layups that were straight to the rim. They did a good job of spacing us out and getting to their spots. And, they had 4 guys with 20 points. Dosunmu, 10 for 12. He had one of his better games and got out in transition and played really well.
And that's okay. It's okay to admit, hey, we miss our really the guy who's been our best player all year. He's been better than Jimmy this year. He's been their best player. He was having an all-star season. People talk about all-NBA with Bam. Bam was unbelievable this season. And he is the anchor to everything that they do. He's their hub offensively. He's their hub defensively. And all the crap that people want to give him all the time. He's not aggressive enough. Or he's not a true center. You look like idiots now. Like, do you understand the importance of the guy now? Or do you just want to be like, I wish my center was cement-footed in 7-2? The guy is an absolute monster, and he's dynamic, and it sucks not to have him. And especially defensively, when you're rolling out there with 2 offensive centers and Kevin Love, who's not a center, but is playing center. So you have no protection in there at all, on top of the fact that you also didn't have Jay Rich and you didn't have Haywood Highsmith. It's just like, Chicago's a weird ass team, and they're certainly dysfunctional, but they have a lot of offensive firepower. And I think we've seen with this DeMar DeRozan version of the Bulls, they give the Heat fits, dude. It's just one of those matchups. It's annoying. It's like the Raptors from 2 years ago. It's, but I thought it was like, I was almost like taken aback. I was like, wow, Spo actually mentioned a guy in the post game who didn't play. And I was like, good for you. In a weird way, I was kind of proud of him. I was like, good for you. Good for you, Eric. You mentioned that you didn't have Bam Adebayo. It kind of sucks. I think I would have done my post game and been like, All right, lost to the Bulls. Shouldn't get down 25, and man, it sucks not having Bam Adebayo. And throw Tyler in there too. You know, I mean, I think you had enough offensive punch today, but yeah, throw Tyler in there too. Sucks not having him. Sucks not having two of my top 3 players. I would like to have them back. It would be nice. It would be nice to get on a run and see what we do with all of them together, because you know we didn't really get we haven't gotten a true taste of that yet. So yeah, that's today's recap on this. I will do something more on Tyler tomorrow, but I thought that Spo mentioning Bam, I was like, oh, heart emoji. I like the fact that he's doing that. Good for him. Good for him. I don't think I missed anything else. Gogi was there today. That made me happy. Saw Goran Dragic to the game. Saw him in the locker room. Didn't want to make things weird. Stopped by and say, Gogi, please come back. Miss you. Udonis Haslam also sat with the Arisons for like 3 minutes, and then I think he saw 33-8. And he goes, all right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go get my highlight team ready for the championship or something. I don't know. He was sitting with the Arisons, and then he was gone. I will say, I threw off and I was pretty proud of myself. In the midst of the Heat getting the snot kicked out of him in the first quarter, I noticed that Joakim Noah and Carlos Boozer were sitting next to each other. So, of course, I had to get a photograph of those two and just put the caption Heat in 5. Because I'm a child. A petty child. But I'm proud of my pettiness.